Hey everybody, Matt Slash here, and welcome to a little warning that I want to give about the video that you're about to watch. Dagon definitely dives a little bit into some darker themes. Okay, with that comes depression, anxiety, suicide. So I want to give a fair warning about that. Now, with that being said, if you look in the description field, I am going to be posting a link to 211. If you're unaware of what that is, 211 it kind of works with United Way, and it can give help whether you're experiencing some sort of crisis or emergency, either through COVID or disaster. If you're having problems with paying bills, housing, um, healthcare expenses, if you're having problems with maybe suicide yourself or anxiety, depression, they're there to kind of help you with those things. Okay, they can help guide you in the right direction to find the help that you need. Um, with that being said, I personally want to tell you that you matter. Okay, you matter. If you are experiencing problems, remember this: you matter. You matter. Your life matters to somebody somewhere. No matter what, you matter to me. Your life matters to me. Okay? Never forget that. With that being said, I hope you can enjoy this video and take it for what it is and maybe find a little bit of enjoyment out of it. So until next time, guys, see ya. Hey everybody, Matt Slash here, and welcome back to the channel. With today being Halloween, I thought we would bring something a little special to the channel here. Something a little different. This is called Dagon by H.P. Lovecraft. It is kind of like a little interactive game that's set a little bit towards the story of Dagon. From what I've read through the comments and reviews, it's not a very long game. There's nothing really to do besides you just kind of walk around and look for secrets and and things like that, and you just kind of get put into just a different sort of atmosphere. Okay, something a little dark, which I think is perfect considering this being Halloween. That being said, today being Halloween, the spooky day, it is also mine and my wife's happy anniversary. So yeah, pretty awesome. Making this day a real good day all around. So let's see here. I know you see the continue. I kind of went through here. I wanted to test out audio a little bit, and I made some adjustments. There are voiceovers in here. I turned our sounds down. I turned the desktop audio up a little bit, and I turned the voiceovers up a little bit because as we're going through, I'm going to let the gentleman that we are playing as speak. Okay, I want y'all to be able to hear him. So yeah, I think with that being said, let's get going. Yes, we will overwrite. That is just fine. So Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work. Focused on story and atmosphere, you will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot. So kind of like what I said, it's more of a walking simulator, which is fine.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Just kind of click there. So what is it? Here in the game, you'll encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the Elder sign, which is this little branch-looking thing right here. So, okay. Let's see here. Zoom in here.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Sounds like he's dealing with some major mental anguish here. He's also fighting an addiction.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
See. So we can't exactly walk around. We can only kind of look. Tell you what, this game looks pretty good, really. Sounds like some shots.
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Okay. Seems like they got captured. Can't really move. What do we got here? Hey, there's a secrets. Was it the Huns? Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on 27th July 1900 before they embraced China. Should you encounter the enemy, he will be defeated. No quarter will be given. Prisoners will not be taken. Whoever falls into your hands is forfeited. Just as 1,000 years ago, the Huns under their king Attila made a name for themselves, one that even today makes them seem mighty in history and legend. May the name German be affirmed by you in such a way in China that no Chinese will ever again dare to look cross-eyed at a German. The refusal to take prisoners was a clear breach of the laws and customs of war adopted during the First Hague Convention of 1899. Wow. So you can read the discovered trivia immediately or go back to them later in the main menu. Turn off displaying trivia if you find that feature distracts you. This can be changed anytime in the options. We'll show it, but I think from here on out, I'll kind of leave it up for a few seconds and then back out of it. And then if you if you want to, you can pause the video and read it. Something else here.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Okay. Let's see here. Make sure we don't got any other secrets. Okay.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Seems to be free now. Okay.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Just kind of at float there in the middle of the ocean. Ugh. I could just imagine. Let's see here. Oh, there we go.
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Okay. Water bottle
But
there.
neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
certainly have a huge mental strain.
The change happened whilst I slept. Its details I shall never know, for my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Sounds like something's about to happen. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah.
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Oh man. Okay. This is just...
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
Oh wow.
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
You know, yeah. I mean, if this was me and something like this happened, I would definitely be a lot more horrified and astonished. Yeah. I mean, what even is this?
For there was in the air and in the rotting soil a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
You don't say.
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish and of other less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
Ugh.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight save a vast reach of black slime, yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
So I'm guessing that this island, or whatever it is we're on, is basically just black slime, fish and octopus carcasses, and I mean, is there like sand or anything? Surely there's something a little more solid. Ugh.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
You know, I mean, I see the sun, but it's also pretty dark. Not gonna lie. Oh, kind of just... There's the origins of Dagon. So, give y'all a moment. Pause. Read that. Okay. Yeah. So go on here. Oh, the sound, the squishing.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
Oh, what's that?
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
I mean, I guess that's some way to explain this. Huh.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Right.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
You know, that's a pretty good point. You would think you would see seagulls or something out here trying to, eat. Huh. Around, see if we see anything. Just look at that. Oh. Alright.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Huh?
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Planning on moving along here.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Alright. So gross. Let me just... Ugh. Continue.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Okay.
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Okay. So we can't actually traverse ourselves. Let's see here. I'm moving on its own.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
Let's see. Huh. Secrets. Okay. We're seeing much here. And look at that. Well, really? Yeah. Definitely not a volcanic upheaval.
That night I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
We got nothing. Oh, here we go. Horrors of the Ocean. Creator of the Cthulhu mythos. Yeah, if you aren't aware, H.P. Lovecraft, if you are not aware, he's kind of the author behind Cthulhu and a couple of other things. So, yeah. Definitely look into it if you are into the more dark, macabre-esque type of creatures. Pretty interesting. Oh, there we go. And let's keep moving forward.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Yeah, I would say so.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Oh boy.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night. But ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more.
I'm just going to throw this out there. If it was me and I was in this guy's shoes, my dreams would probably be pretty wild. Not going to lie. In fact, I don't know if I would have dreams because I don't know if I would even be able to sleep. I would probably have to just fight through like sheer exhaustion and just finally pass out from it. Yeah. This is just wild.
Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again. And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day.
Right.
Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
That is true.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
All right. Well, no secrets, so let's pick it up. Get going.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon.
Oh boy.
whose
What are we about
black
to see?
recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine.
Ugh.
I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Oh,
Through
boy.
my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent,
Yeah.
whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Okay. Looks like one step at a time here. Ugh.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath,
Okay.
gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
Was it like a monolith or something?
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Kinda looks like a monolith. Let's see if we've got any more secrets or anything. Here to be.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself. But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Let's see. See a few things. What is that over there, I wonder? Okay.
For
Continue here.
despite its enormous magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith,
Okay, so it is a monolith.
whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Huh. Now let's move on.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Yeah. Y'all see the markings? Zoom in there. It's just crazy.
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Wild. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Even though this is like a walking simulator, and it shouldn't, at least I guess it shouldn't really be all that scary. I mean, this is, yeah. That was just a little bit of anxiety to build up in you.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I had ever seen in books. Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
What does it mean?
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world,
Huh. Just crazy.
but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Go. Storytelling methods. Kind of tells you a little bit about some of the things that Lovecraft developed. All right.
Plainly visible across the intervening water on account of their enormous size were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
I wonder if he means something like fishmen, mermen, something like that.
Though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail, for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Huh. That face there on the bottom, me, that kind of depicts an image of Cthulhu.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seemed to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background. For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
Possibly Dagon.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
I don't know.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me. Then, suddenly, I saw it. With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Okay. Not liking this.
Vast, Polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely a little creepy.
About which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Oh boy. Now, let's continue. I don't have a good feeling, but I'm going to continue. What's happening?
I think I went mad then.
Okay.
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
Yeah, I'd probably want to block a lot of that out myself. Oh boy. Yeah. Not doing very good at all.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Really? Don't say. Okay. Let's continue. Think we need to get off this island.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Yeah. You're going a little wild here.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital,
Okay.
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
Yeah, I don't see them wanting to, listen much to a man who's probably a little crazy.
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing.
Right.
Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Okay. We got. Let's see. Do we got any? Hey, here we go. The journalist. Give y'all a few seconds there to kind of take a look at that. All right, let's go continue. And here we go.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Uh-huh. Okay. There's another secret. This one's kind of about Dagon. Give y'all a couple of seconds there. Okay. I'll look around a little bit. Huh. Wow. Just wow. I mean, I know this game. I think it's like 2 years old or something like that. But I gotta tell you, this is the first time I've ever played it, and wow.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
Okay. August, Derleth, and the Cthulhu Mythos. Okay. So I'm going to give y'all a couple of seconds here so you can pause and read this for yourself. Okay. Any others? I don't believe so. Huh? Okay. Oh, just keep going here. Clock. Huh. Book there. I wish we could. Something there. There's that bust. Nope. All right. Just keep going.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
Okay.
I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
I see. So it sounds like due to all this trauma, all this mental trauma that he endured, this is kind of why he went to morphine and ended up getting addicted, was to try and prevent the thoughts of coming back to him of what he had to go through. I mean, I kind of understand. Same time, man, that just rough.
So now I am to end it all. having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Okay, so it sounds like he is thinking about suicide of some sort. Not good. Let's look at this. Lovecraft on tobacco and alcohol. Give you a couple of seconds. Looks like he didn't really like tobacco too much, but he did smoke anyways. Okay. Around a little bit more. See much, so, yeah.
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm.
You can only hope.
A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
Sometimes the things that aren't really there seem so real. It happens. You never really know.
I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
Okay.
Worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite.
See.
I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Oh, wow. Look at this. It's extraordinary. I know this is kind of like a real dark setting and everything, but this is still just an extraordinary image to see. Okay. Continue.
The end is near.
Okay. Sounds like we have taken the morphine.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
I hear that. Not sound good. Okay. See. Oh, okay, there we go.
It shall not find me.
Oh boy. I'm not liking this. What?
God, that hand!
Oh no. Pretty sure that's Dagon. Pretty sure
The
he's gonna get
window!
in.
The window!
Where? Where's? Then let me go! Oh boy. Okay. So, that is the end. Wow. Okay. So, yeah. I don't even really know what to say. I mean, let me just tell you this. Even though all we did was just click through this was by far a great game. Real short. Okay, I didn't make any cuts on this, and we're just now starting to get to what, like 36 minutes or something like that. Yeah, very merciful. I mean, if you had the lights turned off and everything, and just kind of sitting there in front of your computer, yeah, I can see you getting a little freaked out. I mean, it kind of did me. And I mean, it's daytime right now, but yeah, wow. Okay, so I am going to leave a link in the description to the Steam page, so that if you want, you can check this game out yourself. There are also some DLCs here. I highly suggest we support this dev here. I mean, wow, this was just really good. I mean, for a walking simulator and everything, this is just super awesome. This is actually the first one I've ever played, and this was amazing. So the base game is free. The DLCs you have to pay for, but I think for both of them it's like $8 or something like that. So I might look into those at some point and continue this. I imagine we need those in order to find the rest of like the little secrets and things. I know we found a couple of them. Sure, I don't think that's it. Surely not. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked this video, please give a like. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. We tend to upload daily Isaac runs, and we will see some more one-offs here and there, kind of like this one. This one I thought was really good to use for Halloween. Yeah. So again, if you like the video, please give a like. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And until next time, guys, see ya.